Your first destination is the Forest of Echoes, where the harmony of light is hidden. Elara set off with a determined heart, guided by the lantern's soft glow and the map's directions. The Forest of Echoes was known for its endless labyrinths and hauntingly beautiful echoes. The deeper Elara ventured, the more challenging the forest became. Shadows danced around her, and eerie sounds echoed through the trees. As she navigated the forest, Elara encountered a talking fox named Finn. "You look lost, young traveler," Finn said. "To find the harmony of light, you must pass through the trial of echoes. Solve my riddle, and I will guide you." Finn recited the riddle. "I can be cracked, made, told, and played. What am I?" Elara thought for a moment and answered, "A joke." Finn smiled and led Elara to a hidden grove where the harmony of light, a glowing crystal, was guarded by a gentle light spirit. Elara carefully retrieved the crystal, which shimmered with a warm, golden light. With the first harmony in hand, Elara continued her journey to the second destination, the Caves of Echoing Shadows. These caves were known for their mysterious darkness and treacherous paths. As Elara entered the caves, the darkness was almost overwhelming, but the lantern's glow provided her with some light. Deep within the caves, Elara met a wise old bat named Balthazar. "To find the harmony of shadows, you must overcome the trial of darkness," Balthazar said. "Face your fears and trust your inner light." Elara ventured further into the darkness, where her own fears and doubts seemed to come alive. She faced illusions and deceptive paths, but she remembered the strength and courage she had shown before. With determination, she pressed on and eventually reached a chamber where the harmony of shadows, a dark, swirling orb, was kept. Balthazar congratulated Elara as she retrieved the orb. "You have proven your bravery," he said. "The final trial awaits you at the Crystal Lake, where the harmony of peace is hidden." Elara journeyed to the Crystal Lake, a serene and beautiful place known for its calming waters. As she approached the lake, she found that the water was turbulent and disturbed. At the edge of the lake was a calm and graceful swan named Seraphina. "To find the harmony of peace," Seraphina said, "you must complete the trial of serenity. Show compassion and restore balance to the lake." Elara observed the lake and noticed that the disturbance was caused by a group of small creatures fighting over the remaining fish. She gently intervened, speaking to the creatures and helping them find a peaceful solution. With kindness and patience, she restored harmony to the lake. As the lake returned to its tranquil state, the harmony of peace, a sparkling, translucent gem, emerged from the water. Seraphina thanked Elara for her compassion and gave her the final harmony. With all three harmonies in hand, Elara returned to Luminera. The village was still, and the bell tower seemed even more forlorn. Elara approached the Starlight Bell, placing the harmonies in their respective slots. The bell's glow intensified, and a harmonious chime rang out, filling the land with a soothing melody. The meadows flourished, the lake sparkled once more, and a sense of peace and balance was restored to the kingdom. The villagers celebrated Elara's bravery and kindness, and the Starlight Bell's magic was stronger than ever. Master Cedric praised Elara for her courage and compassion. "You have restored harmony to our land and proven that even in the darkest times, light, courage, and peace can triumph," he said. Elara's adventure became a cherished tale in the village, a reminder of the importance of harmony and the power of a kind heart. And so, the kingdom of Luminera lived in peace and prosperity, with the Starlight Bell ringing out its magical chimes for all to hear. And they all lived happily ever after. The end. In a land where emerald meadows met silver streams, there lay a quaint village called Greenfield. Among its many charming features was an old, ornate carousel that stood at the village's edge. Unlike any ordinary carousel, this one was known for its breathtaking beauty and magical aura. Its horses, beautifully carved and gilded, were said to come alive at midnight, carrying those who rode them on extraordinary journeys. The carousel had been a beloved landmark for generations, but over the years, its magic seemed to have faded. The villagers, though still fond of the carousel, no longer saw the horses come alive, and the once vibrant melodies that played from the carousel's music box had long fallen silent. In this village lived a curious and kind-hearted girl named Lily. Lily had always been enchanted by the stories of the carousel's magic. Every evening, she would sit by the carousel, imagining the wondrous adventures it had once offered. She dreamt of restoring the magic and discovering the mysteries hidden within its carved wood. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon and the first stars began to twinkle in the sky, Lily noticed something unusual. The old music box, which had been silent for so long, began to emit a soft, melodious tune. Entranced, Lily watched as the carousel's horses began to shimmer with a faint, golden light. Determined to uncover the truth, Lily decided to stay by the carousel until midnight. As the clock struck 12, the magic of the carousel came alive once more. The horses began to move, gracefully prancing as though they were alive. The carousel's music grew louder, filling the air with enchanting notes that seemed to weave a spell of wonder. Suddenly, the horses stopped, and a shimmering figure emerged from the center of the carousel. It was a graceful fairy with wings like delicate, translucent petals. She introduced herself as Seraphina, the guardian of the carousel. "Greetings, Lily," Seraphina said with a voice like the tinkling of bells. "You have awakened the magic of the carousel. To restore its full enchantment, you must complete 3 tasks, each requiring a pure heart and bravery." Lily's eyes sparkled with determination. "I'm ready. What must I do?" Task 1, the Lost Star. Seraphina guided Lily to a nearby meadow where a once bright star had fallen from the sky. The star was dim and flickering weakly. To restore its light, Lily needed to climb the tallest oak tree and place the star back in the sky. With courage and agility, Lily scaled the tree, carefully placing the star back in its celestial home. As the star blazed brightly once more, the carousel's golden glow intensified. Task 2, the Enchanted Fountain. The second task took Lily to an ancient fountain in the heart of the forest. The fountain had once flowed with sparkling water, but now it was dry and lifeless. Lily discovered that the fountain's magic had been drained by a dark spell. She needed to restore its waters by solving a puzzle that required her to arrange magical runes in the correct order. With patience and cleverness, Lily solved the puzzle, and the fountain's waters began to flow again, shimmering with a new, enchanting brilliance. Task 3, the Heart of the Carousel. The final task brought Lily back to the carousel, where Seraphina revealed that the heart of the carousel, the central mechanism that powered its magic, was hidden within its base and had grown rusty and weak. To restore it, Lily had to clean and polish the mechanism while keeping her heart full of hope and love. As she worked diligently, the carousel's music grew louder and more vibrant, and the horses began to prance with renewed energy. With the tasks completed, Seraphina beamed with joy. "You have restored the magic of the carousel, Lily. The carousel is now full of life and wonder once more. Thank you for your bravery and kindness." The carousel's horses danced joyously, and the music played a beautiful, enchanting melody that filled the night air. Lily, with a heart full of satisfaction, climbed onto one of the horses. As the carousel spun gracefully, she was whisked away on a magical journey through forests, over mountains, and across starlit skies. When the carousel finally slowed and Lily returned to Greenfield, the village was alive with renewed wonder and excitement. The villagers marveled at the carousel's vibrant magic and celebrated Lily's bravery. The carousel became a symbol of hope and enchantment, reminding everyone of the magic that could be revived with a pure heart and a bit of courage. Lily's adventure became a beloved story in Greenfield, passed down through generations. The carousel continued to delight the villagers, and each midnight, it carried those who rode it on fantastical journeys, always remembering the magic that one brave girl had restored with her love and determination. And so, the legend of the enchanted carousel lived on, a testament to the enduring power of dreams and the magic that lies within the heart of a true adventurer. In the heart of the kingdom of Eldoria, where majestic mountains kissed the sky and lush meadows danced with wildflowers, there existed a wondrous lake known as Lake Luminera. The lake was famed for its sparkling waters that reflected the colors of the sunset and for a mystical gem said to be hidden beneath its depths, the Whispering Sapphire. This gem was believed to hold the power to grant a single wish to anyone who found it. The tale begins with a spirited young girl named Elara who lived in the small village of Willowbrook at the edge of the enchanted forest. Elara had always been curious about the legends of the Whispering Sapphire. Despite the village's warnings about the lake's mysteries and the dangers that lurked within, her heart was set on discovering the truth. One crisp autumn morning, Elara awoke with a determined gleam in her eye. Her village was in turmoil, a terrible drought had afflicted the land, and the crops were failing. The villagers whispered about the Whispering Sapphire, believing it could end their suffering if only it could be found. Elara decided that she would embark on a quest to retrieve the sapphire and save her village. Equipped with a small satchel of supplies, a map given to her by her grandmother, and her trusty compass, Elara set out for Lake Luminera. As she journeyed through the enchanted forest, the trees seemed to whisper words of encouragement, and the animals watched her with curious eyes. After several days of travel, Elara finally arrived at the edge of Lake Luminera. The lake was as beautiful as the legends described, its waters shimmering like 1,000 stars. But Elara knew that finding the Whispering Sapphire would not be easy. According to the map, the sapphire was guarded by 3 ancient trials. The first trial was the trial of the Echoing Forest. Elara had to navigate through a dense thicket where the trees echoed with confusing sounds. She followed the clues provided by the echoes, each one guiding her closer to the heart of the forest. She carefully listened and noted that the echoes followed a pattern that led her to a hidden path. At the end of the path, Elara reached a clearing with a great stone archway. Inscribed on the archway were ancient symbols. Elara realized that the symbols were a puzzle she needed to solve. She remembered her grandmother's teachings about ancient languages and used her knowledge to decode the symbols. The archway opened, revealing a shimmering bridge that led across the lake. The second trial was the trial of the Shimmering Bridge. The bridge was delicate and made of floating light beams that shifted and changed. Elara had to cross it without falling into the water below. She took a deep breath and carefully timed her steps, using her agility to move across the beams. She was halfway through when a sudden gust of wind blew, causing the beams to sway. Elara remained calm, focusing on the path and using her balance to reach the other side. On the other side, Elara found a small wooden cabin with a kindly old woman sitting on the porch. The woman introduced herself as Luna, the keeper of the lake. She explained that Elara had passed the first 2 trials but faced one final challenge, the trial of the heart. The trial of the heart was the most difficult. Luna revealed that the Whispering Sapphire could only be found by someone who was truly selfless and pure of heart. To prove her worth, Elara had to face her greatest fear and demonstrate her true intentions. Elara took a deep breath and entered the cabin, where a mystical mirror awaited. The mirror showed her a vision of her village suffering and her own reflection holding the sapphire. She realized that the vision was not about her own desires, but about her commitment to her village. Elara had to confront her fear of failure and the possibility that her quest might not succeed. She looked into the mirror and spoke from her heart, expressing her sincere wish to help her village and ensure their well-being. The mirror's surface rippled, and the Whispering Sapphire appeared, glowing softly with a gentle light. Luna smiled and congratulated Elara. She handed her the sapphire and advised her to make her wish with a heart full of hope and compassion. Elara thanked Luna and made her way back to Willowbrook, clutching the sapphire close. Upon returning to her village, Elara held the sapphire up to the sky and wished for rain to end the drought and restore the land's fertility. The sapphire glowed brightly, and soon dark clouds gathered over the village. Rain began to fall, and the land was rejuvenated. The crops grew lush and green, and the villagers celebrated with joy and gratitude. Elara's bravery and selflessness became the stuff of legend in Willowbrook. The Whispering Sapphire was returned to the lake, and the villagers learned that true magic lay not just in the gem but in the heart of a hero who sought to help others. From that day forward, Elara was known as the Guardian of Willowbrook, and her story inspired generations to come. The enchanted forest and Lake Luminera remained a place of magic, and the villagers lived in harmony, always remembering the brave young girl who saved them with her courage and compassion. The end. In the heart of a lush kingdom known as Eldoria, there lay a mysterious and enchanting place called the Starlit Forest. Unlike any other forest, the Starlit Forest was bathed in a perpetual twilight, where the trees glittered with bioluminescent leaves and the ground sparkled like a field of stars. The forest was home to magical creatures and guarded by ancient spells, ensuring its beauty and secrets remained hidden from those not pure of heart. In the nearby village of Glenwood lived a young girl named Elara. Elara was known for her curiosity and a heart full of kindness. She spent her days helping her family and dreaming of adventures beyond the village. Her grandmother often told her tales of the Starlit Forest, particularly about a legendary artifact known as the Heart of the Forest, a magical gem said to grant a single wish to those who could find it. One fateful evening, as Elara was exploring the edge of the forest, she stumbled upon an old, weathered map partially buried under a pile of leaves. The map had intricate designs and marked a path leading deep into the Starlit Forest. Excited by the discovery and determined to find the heart of the forest, Elara decided to embark on an adventure. Before she ventured into the forest, Elara visited the village elder, a wise woman named Serafina. Serafina was known for her knowledge of magical realms and had been a friend of Elara's grandmother. Upon seeing the map, Serafina's eyes widened with recognition. "This map is ancient," Serafina said. "It shows the path to the heart of the forest. But be warned, the forest is filled with challenges and illusions. You will need courage, wisdom, and kindness to succeed." With Serafina's advice in mind, Elara prepared for her journey. She packed essentials, including food, a lantern, and a small vial of protective charm given to her by Serafina. At dawn, she set off towards the Starlit Forest. As Elara entered the forest, she was immediately struck by its beauty. The trees shimmered with a soft glow, and the air was filled with a soothing hum. Following the map, Elara ventured deeper into the forest, guided by the light of her lantern and the magical glow of the trees. Soon, Elara encountered her first challenge. A dense fog rolled in, obscuring her path. From within the fog emerged a graceful deer with silver antlers. The deer spoke in a gentle voice, "To pass through the fog, you must answer this riddle. I have keys, but open no locks. I have space, but no room. You can enter, but not go outside. What am I?" Elara thought carefully. She remembered stories of riddles and their answers. After a moment, she smiled and said, "A piano." The deer nodded and stepped aside, allowing Elara to continue her journey. The fog cleared, and she followed the path marked on the map. Next, Elara arrived at a shimmering river that flowed with water as clear as glass. At the edge of the river, a wise old turtle awaited her. The turtle spoke, "To cross this river, you must demonstrate your kindness. Help me find my lost shell, which has been carried away by the current." Elara searched the riverbank and spotted the turtle's shell lodged among some rocks. She carefully retrieved it and returned it to the turtle. The turtle was grateful and, in return, offered Elara a bridge of golden light that would carry her across the river. With the river crossed, Elara continued her journey and soon came upon a grand, ancient tree with a trunk as wide as a house. Hanging from the branches were golden apples, each radiating a warm light. The tree spoke in a deep, resonant voice, "To proceed, you must show your wisdom. Choose the right apple from the branch to reveal the next part of your path." Elara examined the apples carefully. She noticed that one apple had a subtle shimmer that seemed different from the rest. She chose this apple, and as she did, the tree's branches parted to reveal a hidden path leading further into the forest. Elara followed the path and eventually arrived at a beautiful glade bathed in moonlight. At the center of the glade was a pedestal with a glowing gem, the heart of the forest. As she approached, a soft voice spoke from the shadows. "Only the pure of heart can claim the heart of the forest," said a tall figure emerging from the shadows. It was a majestic fairy with wings that sparkled like the night sky. Elara bowed respectfully and said, "I seek the heart to help my village and bring hope to those in need." The fairy studied Elara's face and saw the sincerity in her eyes. "You have shown great courage, wisdom, and kindness throughout your journey. You are worthy of the heart. the fairy touched the pedestal, and the heart of the forest floated gently into Elara's hands. Its light was warm and comforting. Use this gem wisely, the fairy instructed. It will grant one wish, but its true power lies in how selflessly you use it. Elara thanked the fairy and made her way back to the village, carrying the heart of the forest. As she arrived in Glenwood, the villagers gathered around, eager to hear about her adventure. Elara shared her story and the purpose of her journey. With a heart full of hope, Elara made her wish. She wished for prosperity and well-being for her village, so that all could benefit from the magic of the heart of the forest. The gem's light spread across the village, and soon Glenwood flourished with new crops, clean water, and renewed happiness. The villagers celebrated Elara's bravery and kindness, and the village thrived like never before. And so, the tale of Elara and the Starlit Forest became a cherished story in Eldoria, reminding everyone that true magic lies not in the power of a single wish but in the courage, wisdom, and kindness of the heart. The end. Once upon a time, in the heart of a vast kingdom where meadows stretched as far as the eye could see, there was a hidden village named Starbrook. This village was renowned for its beauty, particularly its garden, which was said to bloom only under the light of the full moon. The garden was filled with flowers of every color, their petals glowing softly in the moonlight. In Starbrook lived a kind and curious girl named Ivy. Ivy was known for her love of nature and her fascination with the magical garden. She often wondered about the origin of the garden's enchantment. The villagers spoke in hushed tones about the garden's mysterious past, and Ivy's curiosity only grew stronger. One evening, as the full moon rose high in the sky, casting its silver glow over Starbrook, Ivy decided it was time to uncover the truth. She slipped out of her cozy cottage and made her way to the garden, which was bathed in the soft, ethereal light of the moon. As she wandered through the moonlit flowers, Ivy noticed a path she had never seen before. It was lined with delicate, glowing stones that seemed to lead deeper into the garden. With a sense of wonder, she followed the path until she reached a secluded corner of the garden where an ancient, gnarled tree stood. The tree was unlike any Ivy had seen before. Its branches were twisted into intricate shapes, and its leaves shimmered like silver. At the base of the tree was a small, ornate door, barely noticeable among the roots and undergrowth. Ivy's heart raced with excitement. Could this be the key to the garden's mystery? With a gentle push, Ivy opened the door. It creaked softly and revealed a narrow staircase leading down into the earth. Taking a deep breath, she descended the steps, her footsteps echoing in the quiet darkness. At the bottom, she found herself in a hidden chamber illuminated by the soft, golden light of dozens of glowing lanterns. In the center of the chamber was an elegant table covered with old, dusty books and scrolls. Atop the table lay a magnificent, silver pendant in the shape of a crescent moon. Ivy reached out and touched the pendant, and as she did, a soft voice filled the room. "Welcome, Ivy. I have been expecting you," said the voice, which belonged to a graceful figure emerging from the shadows. It was a beautiful fairy with wings that sparkled like the night sky. "I am Luna, the guardian of the moonlit garden. Long ago, this garden was blessed by the moon goddess to protect a powerful secret. The pendant you see before you is the key to unlocking that secret." Ivy's eyes widened in awe. "What secret does the garden hold?" Luna smiled warmly. "The garden's enchantment was created to protect a magical artifact known as the Heart of the Moon. It has the power to bring harmony and balance to the world. However, the heart has been hidden for centuries to keep it safe from those who might use its power for mischief." Luna handed Ivy the pendant. "The Heart of the Moon is hidden in a place where light and shadow meet. Only one with a pure heart and unwavering courage can find it. With this pendant, you have the power to uncover its location." Ivy accepted the pendant, feeling its warmth and energy. "How will I know where to look?" "The pendant will guide you," Luna explained. "It responds to the moonlight and will lead you to the heart. Follow its light, and trust in your heart's guidance." With a grateful nod, Ivy left the chamber and ascended the staircase. The pendant glowed softly around her neck, guiding her through the garden's winding paths. As she walked, she noticed that the pendant's light grew brighter and more focused. Following the pendant's glow, Ivy reached a secluded grove where the moonlight streamed down through the branches in a perfect, silver beam. At the center of the grove stood a large, ancient stone with an inscription. Ivy read the inscription aloud, which revealed a riddle: to find the heart of the moon, you must seek where light and shadow dance in tune. Where the moon's touch is gentle and kind, there the heart's true light you'll find. Ivy looked around and noticed that the moonlight created a shimmering pattern on the ground where the light and shadows intertwined. She carefully stepped onto the illuminated area, and the stone began to shift, revealing a hidden compartment beneath it. Inside the compartment lay a stunning, crystal-clear orb that seemed to pulse with a soft, silver light. Ivy carefully lifted the orb, feeling its gentle warmth. The moment she touched it, the entire garden seemed to come alive with an even more vibrant glow, and the flower's light grew brighter and more vivid. Luna appeared beside her, a look of satisfaction on her face. You have found the heart of the moon. Its magic will bring peace and balance to the world, and its protection will ensure the garden's beauty for generations to come. Ivy returned to the village with the heart of the moon, and the garden's magic was shared with all of Starbrook. The village thrived under the garden's enchantment, and the moonlit blooms became even more radiant and enchanting. The legend of Ivy's bravery and the heart of the moon became a cherished tale in Starbrook, inspiring others to seek out their own adventures with courage and an open heart. And so, under the light of the moon, Starbrook flourished, its beauty and magic lasting for many generations to come. And they all lived happily ever after. Once upon a time, in the kingdom of Arinder, there was a lush and mystical forest known as the Whispering Woods. This forest was famed for its talking animals, magical plants, and the ancient wisdom it held. The heart of the Whispering Woods was said to house a powerful enchantment that could fulfill any wish, but only if the wish was made with a pure heart. In the quaint village of Eldenbrook, on the edge of the Whispering Woods, lived a brave and kind-hearted girl named Lily. Lily lived with her grandfather, who had fallen ill with a mysterious sickness. Despite the village healer's best efforts, no remedy seemed to help. Lily, determined to save her beloved grandfather, decided to seek out the heart of the Whispering Woods and make a wish for his recovery. One morning, Lily set off into the forest armed with a satchel of provisions, a map drawn from old stories, and her grandfather's locket as a reminder of why she was on this quest. As she entered the Whispering Woods, the trees seemed to whisper softly, guiding her deeper into the forest. Her first challenge came in the form of a majestic, talking stag that appeared in her path. The stag's antlers gleamed like silver, and its eyes held a deep, knowing look. To pass, the stag said in a gentle voice, "You must prove your bravery. Face the enchanted pool and retrieve a single star from its depths." Following the stag's directions, Lily arrived at the enchanted pool. The pool was surrounded by luminous flowers, and its waters shimmered with a soft, ethereal glow. At the center of the pool was a single, twinkling star resting on a bed of floating lilies. Lily knew she had to dive in to reach it. Despite her fear of the unknown, she took a deep breath and plunged into the water. The water was cool and refreshing, and Lily swam towards the star. As she reached for it, a gentle, soothing voice spoke, "Only those with a heart full of courage can retrieve me." Lily grasped the star and, with a burst of determination, swam back to the surface. The stag waited patiently at the edge of the pool. Upon receiving the star, it nodded in approval and stepped aside, revealing a hidden path deeper into the forest. Lily continued along the path until she reached a grove filled with enchanting, glowing mushrooms. In the center of the grove stood a talking fox with a bushy tail and eyes that sparkled like gems. To continue, the fox said, "You must solve the riddle of the grove." The fox recited the riddle, "I have cities but no houses, I have mountains but no trees, I have water but no fish. What am I?" Lily thought hard about the riddle. She remembered maps she had seen, which showed cities, mountains, and rivers. "A map," she answered confidently. The fox's eyes lit up with delight. "You have answered correctly. Follow the path to the next challenge." Lily thanked the fox and followed the path, which led her to a glade bathed in soft moonlight. In the center of the glade was a grand, ancient tree with a face carved into its trunk. Its eyes were wise and kind. To earn the final blessing, the tree said, "You must show your selflessness. Tend to the forest creatures in need, and only then will you find the way to the heart of the Whispering Woods." Around the tree, Lily saw various forest creatures, birds with injured wings, a family of rabbits caught in a net, and a small fawn that had lost its way. Lily spent hours helping the creatures. She carefully bandaged the bird's wings, freed the rabbits from the net, and guided the fawn back to its family. Her heart was full of compassion as she tended to each creature with care. Once she had finished, the ancient tree's face softened, and a hidden doorway appeared at its base. Lily stepped through the doorway into a serene, glowing clearing at the heart of the Whispering Woods. In the center of the clearing was a beautiful, crystal-clear spring surrounded by radiant flowers. At the edge of the spring, a shimmering figure appeared, a fairy with delicate wings and a warm, welcoming smile. "You have shown bravery, wisdom, and selflessness," the fairy said. "You are worthy of the heart's wish." Lily approached the spring and made her heartfelt wish for her grandfather's recovery. The water of the spring began to swirl and glow brightly. The fairy sprinkled a few drops of the enchanted water into a vial and handed it to Lily. "Give this to your grandfather, and he will be healed." With the vial safely in her satchel, Lily made her way back to Elden Brook. When she arrived, she found her grandfather still in bed. She gently gave him the enchanted water, and within moments, he began to stir. His color returned, and he sat up, looking healthier and happier than he had in months. The village celebrated the return of Lily and the miraculous healing of her grandfather. The story of Lily's bravery and kindness became a beloved tale in Elden Brook, and the Whispering Woods continued to be a place of magic and wonder. Lily's adventure taught the villagers that courage, wisdom, and a selfless heart could overcome even the most daunting challenges. And so, the Whispering Woods remained a beacon of hope, reminding everyone that true magic lies in the purity of one's intentions. Once upon a time, in a vibrant kingdom called Prismaria, there lived dragons of every color imaginable. These were not ordinary dragons. They were known as the Rainbow Dragons, each possessing a unique hue and magic related to their color. The kingdom was a place of eternal beauty, with the skies painted in brilliant hues and the landscape shimmering with the colors of the rainbow. Among the rainbow dragons, there was one particularly special dragon named Aurora. Aurora was the youngest dragon and had scales that shimmered with all the colors of the rainbow. She had a special gift, the ability to weave the magic of the rainbow into magnificent, colorful spells. Despite her talents, Aurora was often overlooked by the older dragons who preferred to focus on their specific color-related magic. One day, a dark and mysterious fog began to creep into Prismaria. The fog was unlike anything the kingdom had seen. It was a dull gray and seemed to drain the vibrant colors from everything it touched. As the fog spread, the once lively kingdom started to lose its brilliance, and the rainbow dragons found their magic weakening. The once colorful landscapes grew drab, and the skies lost their radiant hues. The kingdom's wise leader, Elder Radiance, called a meeting with the dragons. He explained that the fog was a result of a powerful sorcerer named Grimm, who lived in a hidden fortress far beyond the kingdom's borders. Grimm had a magical artifact called the Shadow Crystal, which had the power to drain color and life from anything it touched. If left unchecked, the fog would consume all the colors of Prismaria, leaving it forever gray and lifeless. Elder Radiance knew that the only hope to save the kingdom was to retrieve the Shadow Crystal and restore balance. He decided to send a delegation of dragons to confront Grimm and retrieve the artifact. Aurora, eager to prove her worth, volunteered to join the mission. Although her fellow dragons were skeptical of her abilities, Elder Radiance recognized her determination and agreed to let her go. Aurora embarked on her journey with a small group of dragons: Blaze, the red dragon with fire magic; Verdant, the green dragon who could control plants; and Azure, the blue dragon who commanded water. Together, they traveled through treacherous terrains and faced numerous challenges. Their first trial was the Forest of Shadows, where the trees were twisted and covered in gray fog. The fog seemed to whisper and confuse the travelers. Aurora used her rainbow magic to create a beacon of light, guiding her companions through the murky forest. Her light restored some color to the trees and dispelled the illusions, allowing them to pass safely. Next, they reached the crystal cavern, where the walls were covered in dark, oppressive crystals. The cavern was filled with treacherous traps and illusions designed to scare them away. Verdant used his plant magic to create protective vines, while Azure summoned a gentle rain to wash away the traps. Aurora's rainbow light helped them navigate the cavern and reach the heart of the cave, where they discovered a map showing Grimm's fortress. Finally, the dragons arrived at Grimm's fortress, a dark and foreboding place surrounded by swirling gray clouds. They faced Grimm, a menacing figure cloaked in shadow, holding the shadow crystal high. Grimm sneered as the dragons approached, confident that the artifact's power was unbeatable. Blaze roared and unleashed a torrent of fire, but Grimm's shadow magic easily extinguished it. Verdant summoned powerful vines to restrain Grimm, but the sorcerer's magic cut through them like a knife. Azure tried to douse Grimm with water, but it evaporated before reaching him. Seeing her companions struggle, Aurora stepped forward with her shimmering rainbow light. She realized that the power of the rainbow dragon's magic had to be combined to counteract the shadow crystal. Aurora used her magic to weave a rainbow shield around her friends, enhancing their abilities and creating a vibrant barrier against Grimm's attacks. The combined magic of the dragons, fire, plant, water, and rainbow, overpowered Grimm's dark magic. Aurora directed a powerful burst of rainbow energy toward the shadow crystal, shattering it into pieces. As the crystal broke, the dark fog lifted, and color began to return to the world. Grimm, now powerless, fled into the shadows, never to be seen again. The rainbow dragons returned to Prismaria, where they were greeted with joy and celebration. The kingdom's colors were restored, and the land flourished once more. Aurora's bravery and the power of the combined magic had saved the kingdom. From that day on, Aurora was celebrated not just for her unique magic but for her courage and determination. The dragons learned to appreciate each other's strengths and the value of teamwork. The kingdom of Prismaria thrived, its skies ever colorful and its lands full of life. The tale of the rainbow dragons and the bravery of young Aurora was told through the ages, a reminder that even the smallest among us can shine brightly and make a difference when we work together. And so, in the vibrant kingdom of Prismaria, where rainbows danced across the sky and magic filled every corner, the legend of the rainbow dragons lived on, inspiring generations to believe in the power of color, courage, and unity. The end. In a land far beyond the reach of ordinary maps, there existed an enchanted forest known as Eldergrove. This forest was unlike any other, with trees that whispered secrets, flowers that sang gentle lullabies, and streams that sparkled like liquid starlight. The heart of Eldergrove was the Whispering Tree, an ancient and wise tree said to be the source of the forest's magic. The Whispering Tree stood at the center of the forest, its branches stretching high into the sky and its roots deep into the earth. It had the power to grant wishes and solve the deepest of problems, but it could only do so if approached by someone pure of heart and noble in spirit. One day, a young girl named Lila lived in a village near the edge of Eldergrove. Lila was known throughout her village for her kindness and courage. She cared for sick animals, helped her neighbors, and always sought to bring a smile to those around her. Despite her caring nature, her life was not without difficulties. Her family was poor, and her village was plagued by a drought that threatened their crops and livelihoods. One evening, as Lila watched the sunset from her small home, she heard a faint, melodic whisper carried by the breeze. The whisper spoke of hope and magic in Eldergrove. Lila, intrigued and hopeful, decided that she would venture into the forest to seek help from the Whispering Tree. The next morning, armed with a small satchel of provisions and her unwavering hope, Lila set out on her journey. The path into Eldergrove was lush and vibrant, but as she ventured deeper, she encountered a series of challenges. The first was the River of Illusions, a shimmering stream that created mirages and false paths. Lila approached the river with caution. She remembered the stories of how to navigate illusions with clarity of mind and heart. She focused on her goal, to save her village, and with determination, she followed the true path revealed by her pure heart, crossing the river with ease. As she continued, Lila reached the Grove of Echoes, where the trees mimicked every sound and word spoken. She needed to pass through this grove to reach the Whispering Tree, but the echoes could easily lead her astray with confusing and contradictory advice. Remembering the lessons of patience and perseverance, Lila spoke only kind and reassuring words to herself and to the forest around her. Her steady heart and gentle voice guided her through the grove without falling into confusion. Finally, Lila arrived at the clearing where the Whispering Tree stood. Its presence was majestic and calming, its leaves rustling softly as if in conversation with the wind. Lila approached with reverence and spoke to the tree, "Great Whispering Tree, I come to you with a humble heart. My village suffers from a terrible drought, and our crops are failing. I seek your wisdom and aid to restore our land and bring prosperity back to our people." The Whispering Tree's branches swayed gently, and its leaves rustled as it listened to Lila's plea. After a moment of silence, the tree's deep voice resonated through the clearing. "Dear child, you have shown great courage and kindness on your journey. To restore balance to your land, you must first understand the true nature of abundance." The tree then shared a vision with Lila, a vision of a hidden spring deep within the forest, whose waters held the power to end the drought. However, the spring was guarded by a mystical guardian who required a special offering to reveal its location. Lila thanked the Whispering Tree and set off to find the hidden spring. Guided by the vision, she navigated through the forest's winding paths and eventually reached the guardian's domain, a lush and vibrant glade filled with radiant flowers and glowing creatures. The guardian of the spring was a graceful fairy named Amara. She hovered above a crystal-clear pool, her wings sparkling like morning dew. To gain access to the spring, Amara said, "You must offer something that represents your true self." Lila thought deeply about what she could offer. She remembered her grandmother's old pendant, a simple but cherished family heirloom that symbolized her love for her family and her commitment to helping others. With a heart full of sincerity, she offered the pendant to Amara. The fairy's eyes softened, and she accepted the gift with grace. "Your offering is a reflection of your heart," Amara said. "The spring shall reveal itself to you." With a wave of her wand, Amara revealed a hidden passage leading to the spring. The waters flowed abundantly, and Lila knew that this was the key to saving her village. She filled her canteen with the magical water and thanked Amara for her help. Returning to her village, Lila shared the water with her people. The magical spring's waters were poured into the parched fields, and soon, the crops began to flourish. The once dry land became lush and green, and the village celebrated the return of prosperity. The villagers marveled at the miracle and praised Lila for her bravery and determination. Though she never sought recognition, Lila's selflessness and courage became a beacon of hope for everyone. The village thrived, and the story of Lila's quest and the Whispering Tree became a cherished legend. In time, Eldergrove continued to thrive under the care of the Whispering Tree, and its magic remained a source of wonder and inspiration. Lila's tale was passed down through generations, a reminder of the power of kindness, courage, and the belief that even the smallest act of love could bring about the greatest change. And so, the enchanted forest and the village lived in harmony, their lives intertwined by the magic of the Whispering Tree and the heart of a brave young girl who dared to dream of a better world. The end. Once upon a time, in a land where emerald forests met sapphire lakes, there was a mystical place known as the Whispering Forest. This forest was rumored to be enchanted, with trees that whispered secrets and a hidden crown that granted wishes. Many had ventured into the forest seeking its magic, but none had ever returned with the crown. In a small, peaceful village at the edge of the forest lived a brave young girl named Elara. Elara was known for her kindness and courage, and she had a special bond with the forest animals. Her greatest wish was to find the lost crown of the Whispering Forest, not for herself, but to help her ailing father, who had been bedridden for months. One crisp autumn morning, Elara decided that it was time to venture into the Whispering Forest. She gathered supplies, including a lantern, some food, and a trusty map she had drawn based on old village tales. With a determined heart and a hopeful spirit, she set off towards the forest. As she entered the whispering forest, Elara felt a shiver of excitement. The trees were tall and ancient, their leaves shimmering with an otherworldly glow. The air was filled with the soft rustling of leaves and the occasional whisper, as if the forest itself was alive and speaking in hushed tones. Elara followed a narrow, winding path that seemed to lead deeper into the heart of the forest. The lantern's light flickered as if guiding her way. After a while, she reached a clearing where a magnificent old oak tree stood, its branches reaching towards the sky. Beneath the tree, a stone pedestal held an ornate book bound in shimmering green leaves. Curious, Elara approached the pedestal and opened the book. The pages were filled with ancient writing and illustrations of mystical creatures. As she read, she discovered that the book contained clues to finding the lost crown. According to the book, the crown was hidden in a secret glade protected by 3 trials. Determined to complete the trials, Elara continued her journey. The first trial was the trial of courage. She arrived at a dark, foreboding cave, where the entrance was guarded by a fierce-looking dragon with emerald scales. The dragon's eyes glowed with a fiery light, and it roared as Elara approached. Elara took a deep breath and stepped forward. She knew that the dragon was not truly evil, but a guardian of the forest's magic. She spoke calmly and respectfully to the dragon, explaining her quest and her desire to help her father. The dragon, moved by her bravery and sincerity, allowed her to pass and gave her a golden feather as a token of approval. Elara thanked the dragon and continued on her way, the feather glowing softly in her hand. The second trial was the trial of wisdom. Elara arrived at a serene pond with crystal-clear water. On the opposite side of the pond stood a wise old turtle with a glowing shell. The turtle presented Elara with a riddle: "I have keys but open no locks. I have space but no room. You can enter, but you cannot go outside. What am I?" Elara pondered the riddle, thinking deeply about the nature of the clues she had encountered. After a moment, she realized the answer. "A keyboard," she said confidently. The wise turtle nodded and allowed Elara to cross the pond on a magical lily pad. As she crossed, the lily pad shimmered and left a trail of sparkling water. On the other side, she found a path that led to the final trial. The third trial was the trial of compassion. Elara reached a glade filled with injured and weary animals. The animals were in distress, and their suffering was evident. To pass this trial, Elara needed to help them by tending to their wounds and soothing their fears. Elara used her knowledge of herbs and her gentle touch to care for the animals. She made poultices from leaves and berries, and she spoke softly to comfort them. As she worked, the animals began to recover, and their gratitude was palpable. The glade started to glow with a soft, golden light, and Elara knew she had succeeded in this trial as well. With all 3 trials complete, Elara followed a hidden path revealed by the golden light. It led her to a hidden glade where the lost crown rested upon a bed of soft moss. The crown was adorned with sparkling jewels and seemed to radiate a gentle, warm light. Elara carefully took the crown and felt a surge of hope and joy. She knew that this magical item could help her father, and she thanked the forest for guiding her. As she made her way back through the whispering forest, the trees whispered words of encouragement and gratitude for her kindness. When Elara returned to her village, she placed the crown beside her father's bedside. The crown's magic began to work, and her father's health improved rapidly. The villagers were amazed and grateful, and they celebrated Elara's bravery and compassion. Elara's father soon recovered, and the village prospered with renewed hope and happiness. The whispering forest continued to thrive, and its magic remained a cherished part of the land. From that day on, Elara was known not only for her courage but for her kindness and selflessness. She often visited the whispering forest, which became a place of peace and inspiration for her and her village. And as for the lost crown, it was a symbol of the power of love and the magic that can be found in the heart of those who are willing to help others. And so, Elara lived happily ever after, always cherishing the lessons learned from her journey through the whispering forest. The end. The tale of the Midnight Swan. Once upon a time, in a small village surrounded by misty meadows and quiet lakes, there was a legend about a mysterious swan that only appeared at midnight. The villagers called it the Midnight Swan, and it was said that anyone who caught a glimpse of it would have a single wish granted. But the swan was elusive, and many who sought it never returned, for the forest where it dwelled was enchanted and full of secrets. In this village lived a young girl named Elara. She was known for her courage and her kind heart, always helping others and caring for the animals in the village. But Elara had a secret wish that she had never shared with anyone. Her mother had fallen ill years ago, and despite all the remedies and care, she had never recovered. Elara wished for her mother to be well again, to see her smile and hear her laughter as she once did. One evening, as Elara was tending to her chores, she overheard the village elders speaking of the Midnight Swan. They spoke of its magical powers, how it could heal the sick and grant the deepest desires of those who found it. Elara's heart leaped at the thought. If she could find the Midnight Swan, she could wish for her mother's health to be restored. That night, as the moon rose high in the sky, Elara set out on her journey. She packed a small bag with some food and a blanket, and with her lantern in hand, she ventured into the forest. The trees stood tall and silent, their branches whispering in the wind. Elara's steps were light, but her heart was heavy with hope and determination. The forest was dark and full of shadows, but Elara pressed on, guided by the faint glow of the moon. As she walked, she heard the sound of rustling leaves and the distant hoot of an owl. The air grew cooler, and the mist began to thicken around her. Elara knew she was getting closer to the enchanted part of the forest where the Midnight Swan was said to dwell. After what felt like hours, Elara came upon a small clearing bathed in silver moonlight. In the center of the clearing was a still, glassy lake that reflected the stars above. The surface of the water was so smooth that it looked like a mirror. Elara held her breath, her eyes scanning the lake for any sign of the swan. Just as the clock struck midnight, the surface of the lake began to ripple. Slowly, gracefully, the Midnight Swan emerged from the water. Its feathers were as white as snow, glowing softly in the moonlight. Its eyes were dark and wise, and as it glided across the water, it seemed to carry an air of ancient magic. Elara stepped forward, her heart pounding in her chest. The swan turned its gaze toward her, and for a moment, they simply looked at each other. Elara could feel the magic in the air, a tingling sensation that made her feel both excited and a little afraid. Midnight Swan, Elara called out softly, her voice trembling slightly, "I have come to ask for a wish. My mother is very ill, and I wish for her to be well again." The swan tilted its head as if considering her request. Then, it glided closer to the shore, its wings creating ripples on the surface of the lake. Elara could see the reflection of the moon in the swan's dark eyes, and she felt as though the swan was looking deep into her soul. Finally, the swan spoke, its voice like a soft breeze that carried through the night. "Your wish comes from a place of love and selflessness, young one. But know that all magic comes with a price. To heal your mother, you must give up something dear to you." Elara thought for a moment. She had very little of material value, but she was willing to give up anything if it meant her mother could be healthy again. "What must I give?" she asked. The swan's eyes softened. "You must give up your voice, Elara. In exchange for your mother's health, you will no longer be able to speak." Elara's heart sank at the thought. She loved to sing, to tell stories, and to speak with her friends and the animals she cared for. But then she thought of her mother, of how much she missed seeing her well and happy. With a deep breath, Elara nodded. "I will do it. I will give up my voice to save my mother." The swan lowered its head in acknowledgement. "Very well, Elara. Your wish shall be granted." The swan's wings began to glow with a soft, radiant light that filled the entire clearing. The light grew brighter and brighter until Elara had to close her eyes. She felt a warmth wash over her, and then a strange sensation in her throat, as if the words she wanted to speak were being gently taken away. When the light faded, Elara opened her eyes. The swan was gone, and the lake was still and quiet once more. She tried to speak, to call out, but no sound came. Her voice was gone. Elara felt a mixture of sadness and relief. She had given up something precious, but in doing so, she had gained something even more valuable. With a heavy heart, she turned and began the journey back to her village. When Elara arrived home, she found her mother already awake and sitting up in bed, looking healthier than she had in years. Her cheeks were rosy, and her eyes sparkled with life. Tears filled Elara's eyes as she rushed to her mother's side, embracing her tightly. Her mother smiled and hugged her back, whispering words of love and gratitude. Though Elara could no longer speak, the joy in her heart was enough. Her mother was well, and that was all that mattered. The village soon learned of Elara's sacrifice, and they marveled at her bravery and selflessness. She became known as the silent hero, and though she could no longer tell her stories, her actions spoke louder than any words ever could. And so, Elara lived happily with her mother, finding new ways to communicate through gestures and smiles. The village continued to thrive, and the legend of the Midnight Swan lived on, a reminder that true love and sacrifice could work wonders far greater than any magic. And they all lived happily ever after. I hope you enjoyed this fairy tale. Once upon a time, in a lush, green valley surrounded by towering mountains, there lay a charming village named Bramblewood. The village was known for its enchanting moonflowers that bloomed every full moon, filling the air with a soft, silvery glow. These moonflowers were said to have magical properties, and the villagers believed they brought good fortune and harmony to their lives. In this village lived a young girl named Lyra, known for her adventurous spirit and kind heart. Lyra had always been fascinated by the moonflowers and their mystical glow. She often wondered about the stories her grandmother told her about a hidden kingdom that was said to be connected to the moonflowers. According to legend, the kingdom was hidden from the mortal world and could only be found by someone pure of heart who truly understood the magic of the moonflowers. One evening, as the full moon rose high in the sky, casting its silver light over the village, Lyra noticed something unusual. One of the moonflowers, usually radiant and bright, was dim and withering. Concerned, Lyra approached the flower and found a small, delicate note hidden among its petals. The note read, "To save the moonflower and restore balance, seek the hidden kingdom and find the heart of the moon. Only then will the magic return." Determined to help the moonflower and uncover the truth behind the hidden kingdom, Lyra set off on a quest. With a small satchel of supplies and a lantern that glowed softly in the moonlight, she ventured into the forest. The path ahead was shrouded in mystery and enchantment. As Lyra walked deeper into the forest, the trees seemed to whisper secrets, and the air was filled with the sweet scent of moonflowers. The lantern's light guided her through the dense foliage until she came upon a shimmering stream. The stream sparkled with an ethereal glow, and its waters seemed to sing a melodic tune. Lyra followed the stream, which led her to a grand archway covered in moonflowers. The archway was adorned with glowing runes that pulsed gently with the rhythm of the stream. Lyra stepped through the archway and found herself in a breathtaking garden filled with moonflowers of every color, each one glowing with its own unique light. In the center of the garden stood a magnificent tree with silver leaves that seemed to shimmer like stars. At the base of the tree was a wise old owl named Orion. "Welcome, Lyra," Orion said in a voice that was both soothing and wise. "You have entered the hidden kingdom. To find the heart of the moon and restore the moonflower's magic, you must complete 3 trials. Only then will the true magic of the moonflowers be revealed." Lyra nodded, ready for the challenge. "I am ready," she said. "Very well," Orion said. "The first trial is the trial of courage. You must navigate the maze of mist to find the golden leaf." Lyra entered the maze of mist, a labyrinth shrouded in swirling fog. The mist seemed to play tricks on her eyes, making the maze look ever-changing and disorienting. She encountered illusions and whispers that tried to lead her astray. However, Lyra relied on her bravery and intuition, following her heart rather than her fears. After a challenging journey, Lyra found the golden leaf nestled in a small clearing. The leaf was radiant and gleamed with a warm, golden light. With the leaf in hand, she returned to Orion. "You have passed the trial of courage," Orion said. "The next trial is the trial of wisdom. You must solve the riddle of the enchanted fountain." Lyra followed the directions to the enchanted fountain, a beautiful, crystal-clear pool surrounded by glowing moonflowers. At the edge of the fountain was a mystical fish with scales that shimmered like silver. The fish spoke, "To complete the trial of wisdom, solve my riddle, I am not alive, but I grow. I do not have lungs, but I need air. I do not have a mouth, but water kills me. What am I?" Lyra pondered the riddle carefully. "The answer is fire," she said confidently. The fish nodded and revealed a small, glowing veil filled with moonlight. "You have passed the trial of wisdom. The final trial awaits you at the Temple of Harmony." Lyra made her way to the Temple of Harmony, a serene and majestic structure surrounded by moonflowers. Inside the temple was a beautiful, shimmering pool with a pedestal at its center. On the pedestal rested the heart of the moon, a radiant crystal that pulsed with a soft, calming light. As Lyra approached the pedestal, a gentle breeze whispered through the temple, carrying the voices of the moonflowers. The breeze seemed to be urging her to be patient and trust her heart. Lyra reached out and gently took the heart of the moon from the pedestal. Suddenly, a soft, melodic chime filled the air, and the moonflowers around the temple began to glow brighter. The heart of the moon's light grew stronger, and a sense of peace and harmony enveloped the hidden kingdom. Orion appeared beside Lyra. "You have completed all 3 trials and restored the magic of the moonflowers. The hidden kingdom is now in balance, and the moonflower you found will flourish once more." Lyra thanked Orion and made her way back to Bramblewood with the heart of the moon. As she approached the village, the moonflower she had found was now radiant and glowing with renewed life. The villagers celebrated her return and were amazed by the restored beauty of the moonflowers. The hidden kingdom's magic had not only saved the moonflowers but had also brought a renewed sense of harmony and joy to Bramblewood. The village thrived, and the moonflowers continued to bloom brilliantly, filling the air with their soft, silvery glow. Lyra's adventure became a cherished tale in the village, a reminder of the magic that lay hidden in the world and the importance of courage, wisdom, and harmony. And so, Bramblewood lived in peace and prosperity, with the moonflowers shining brightly under the full moon. And they all lived happily ever after. The end. Once upon a time, in the kingdom of Astraloria, where the night sky was always filled with glittering stars, there was a beloved princess named Lila. Princess Lila was known for her kindness and curiosity. Every evening, she would gaze out of her tower window, marveling at the endless constellations and dreaming of adventures in the starry sky. One fateful night, as Princess Lila watched the stars twinkle brightly, a strange and dark shadow crossed the sky. The stars began to flicker and dim, and before long, the entire kingdom was shrouded in darkness. The people of Astraloria were filled with despair as their beloved night sky lost its magic. Queen Elara, Lila's wise mother, was deeply concerned. She summoned the kingdom's most learned scholars and magical experts, but none could explain the sudden loss of stars or how to restore them. Princess Lila, determined to bring back the light, decided to take matters into her own hands. She set off on a quest to uncover the mystery behind the vanishing stars. Accompanied by her loyal talking cat, Luna, who had a knack for solving riddles, Lila embarked on a journey to the farthest reaches of the kingdom. The Enchanted Forest. Their first stop was the Enchanted Forest, known for its ancient trees and magical creatures. Here, they hoped to find clues about the stolen stars. Deep within the forest, they encountered a wise old owl named Orin, who was known to possess ancient knowledge. Orin, perched high in a great oak tree, listened intently as Lila explained their plight. He ruffled his feathers and said, "To find the stars, you must seek the Oracle of the Moon. She resides in the hidden glade, a place that appears only when the moon is full and bright." With Orin's guidance, Lila and Luna followed the path to the hidden glade, which revealed itself under the light of the full moon. The glade was a serene, moonlit meadow filled with shimmering flowers and a crystal-clear pond. The Oracle of the Moon. In the center of the glade stood the Oracle of the Moon, an elegant figure with a gown that seemed to be woven from moonlight. She greeted Lila and Luna warmly. "Welcome, brave ones," the Oracle said in a soothing voice. "I know why you've come. The stars have been stolen by a sorcerer named Malakar. who seeks to harness their power for his own dark purposes. He hides in the Shadow Realm, a place that can only be reached through the Mirror of Twilight. The Oracle then gifted Lila with a moonstone pendant and a map to find the Mirror of Twilight. "This pendant will guide you," she said. "And remember, only those who approach the mirror with pure intentions can pass through." The Shadow Realm. Following the map, Lila and Luna journeyed to the Shadow Realm, a dark and eerie place where the shadows seemed to have a life of their own. They found the Mirror of Twilight, a magnificent, ornate mirror with a surface that rippled like liquid silver. As Lila approached the mirror, the moonstone pendant began to glow warmly, revealing a hidden doorway. Beyond the doorway was a dark castle where Malakar resided. Inside the castle, they found Malakar in a grand hall, surrounded by the captured stars, which were imprisoned in enchanted glass spheres. Malakar, surprised by their arrival, sneered, "You dare challenge me? These stars are mine to command." The confrontation. Lila, undeterred, stepped forward and said, "We won't let you use the stars for your own gain. They belong to the sky and to the people of Astraloria." A fierce battle ensued. Luna used her agility and cunning to outmaneuver Malakar, while Lila, holding the moonstone pendant, channeled its magic to weaken the sorcerer. Just as Malakar seemed to gain the upper hand, the pendant's light intensified, and the stars began to shine through the enchanted spheres. Realizing he was losing his power, Malakar tried to flee, but Lila and Luna were quick to stop him. With a final burst of light from the moonstone pendant, the enchanted spheres shattered, releasing the stars back into the night sky. Returned to Astraloria with the stars restored to their rightful place, the night sky of Astraloria sparkled more brilliantly than ever. Lila and Luna returned to the kingdom, where they were greeted with joy and celebration. The people of Astraloria rejoiced at the return of their beloved stars, and Queen Elara honored Lila and Luna for their bravery and determination. As a reward, the Oracle of the Moon bestowed upon Lila a special gift, a star-shaped locket that would always keep the light of the stars close to her heart. The locket would also serve as a reminder that even in the darkest times, there is always hope and light to be found. Princess Lila continued to watch the stars from her tower, grateful for the adventure that taught her the importance of courage, friendship, and the beauty of the night sky. And so, under the shimmering stars, the kingdom of Astraloria thrived once more, its nights filled with wonder and magic. The end. In a quaint village nestled at the edge of an ancient forest, there was a remarkable tree known as the Whispering Willow. Its branches were said to be enchanted, and it was believed that the tree could grant a single wish to someone with a truly pure heart once every 100 years. The village had long thrived under the protection of the Whispering Willow. Its branches provided shelter and its leaves whispered secrets of the forest to those who sought wisdom. Despite its wonders, the tree's magic was waning, and the village began to notice that its once lush and vibrant surroundings were starting to wither. A young girl named Eloan lived in the village. Eloan was known for her kindness and her love for the forest. She had grown up hearing stories of the Whispering Willow and had always dreamed of seeing it and learning its secrets. One day, as the last golden rays of the setting sun painted the sky, Eloan noticed that the once strong and radiant Whispering Willow seemed to droop and lose its luster. Concerned, she decided to seek out the tree and help restore its magic. Equipped with a small satchel of supplies, Eloan set out on a journey through the forest. The forest was dense and filled with the songs of creatures preparing for nightfall. Guided by the fading light of day and her own determination, she ventured deeper into the woods. After hours of walking, she finally arrived at a secluded glade where the Whispering Willow stood, its branches swaying weakly in the breeze. The tree's once vivid leaves had turned a dull, silvery gray. As Eloan approached, she heard a faint, sorrowful whisper from the tree. "Help me, young one, before my magic fades entirely." Eloan gently placed her hand on the tree's bark and asked, "What can I do to help you?" The Whispering Willow responded, "To restore my magic, you must complete 3 tasks that will test your heart and spirit. Only then will I regain my strength." The first task was to retrieve the golden acorn, which was hidden in a clearing guarded by a fierce but noble stag. The stag, with antlers like woven branches, appeared before Eloan and spoke, "To earn the golden acorn, you must answer my riddle." The stag's riddle was, "I have cities, but no houses. I have mountains, but no trees. I have water, but no fish. What am I?" Eloan thought carefully and replied, "A map." The stag nodded approvingly and allowed her to take the golden acorn from beneath a nearby rock. The second task led Eloan to a crystal-clear pond where a delicate water sprite named Lyra resided. Lyra's pond was clouded and dark. "To help me in the Whispering Willow," Lyra said, "you must find and release the lightstone trapped within the depths of this pond." Eloan dove into the pond, searching through the murky water. After some time, she found the lightstone, a radiant gem that shone brightly even underwater. She carefully brought it back to Lyra, who thanked her and restored the pond to its former clarity. The third and final task took Eloan to the edge of the forest, where a mountain path led to a cave. Inside the cave lived a wise old dragon named Phoenix. Phoenix was known for his knowledge and his fiery breath. To complete this task, Phoenix said, "You must bring me the crystal leaf from the highest peak of the mountain." Eloan climbed the rugged path to the peak, where she found the crystal leaf shimmering in the moonlight. She carefully descended and presented the leaf to Phoenix. The dragon, impressed by her bravery, offered her a blessing and a piece of ancient wisdom. With the golden acorn, the lightstone, and the crystal leaf in hand, Eloan returned to the Whispering Willow. The tree's branches had grown even weaker, but Eloan placed the items at the base of the tree as instructed. The Whispering Willow absorbed the magic of the golden acorn, the lightstone, and the crystal leaf. Slowly, its branches began to regain their vibrant color, and the once weak leaves rustled with renewed strength. As the tree's magic was restored, it spoke to Eloan with a voice full of gratitude. "You have completed the tasks with a pure heart and unwavering spirit. For your bravery and kindness, I grant you one wish." Eloan thought for a moment and said, "I wish for the forest and the village to be blessed with prosperity and harmony forever, so that all who live here can thrive in peace." The Whispering Willow's branches shimmered with a radiant light, and a gentle rain began to fall, nourishing the land. The forest and village flourished once more, the river flowed with clear, sparkling water, and the crops grew lush and bountiful. Eloan returned to her village as a hero. The villagers celebrated her bravery and the restoration of their beloved Whispering Willow. From that day on, the forest thrived under the watchful gaze of the enchanted tree, and the village of Elderglen prospered in harmony with the magical world around them. And so, the Whispering Willow continued to whisper its secrets and blessings to those who truly cared for the forest and its wonders, keeping the magic of the land alive for generations to come. Once upon a time, in a realm where the sky was perpetually adorned with a canopy of twinkling stars, there existed a magical kingdom known as the Kingdom of Dreams. This enchanting land was governed by the benevolent Queen Luna, who had a special gift. She could weave dreams into reality with the help of a magical artifact known as the Starlit Lantern. The Starlit Lantern was a wondrous creation, forged from the light of the first star ever born. It had the power to bring dreams to life and illuminate the darkest corners of the kingdom. Under Queen Luna's rule, the Kingdom of Dreams flourished, its landscapes ever changing with the dreams of its people. However, one fateful night, a dark sorcerer named Malgrim, consumed by envy and greed, sought to steal the Starlit Lantern and use its power for his own sinister purposes. Under the cover of darkness, he infiltrated the castle and stole the lantern, leaving the kingdom in a state of disarray. Without the lantern's magic, the dreams of the people began to fade, and the kingdom fell into an uneasy slumber. In the midst of the turmoil, a young girl named Lyra, known for her bravery and kindness, decided to take matters into her own hands. Lyra had always been fascinated by the magic of the Starlit Lantern and felt a deep connection to its light. Determined to restore the kingdom's dreams, she set out on a quest to retrieve the stolen lantern. Accompanying Lyra were her loyal friends, Finn, a clever fox with a knack for solving puzzles, and Willow, a wise and gentle owl who knew the secrets of the forest. Together, they ventured into the unknown, following the trail left by Malgrim. Their journey led them through the enchanted forest, where the trees whispered ancient secrets and the flowers glowed with a soft, magical light. In the heart of the forest, they encountered a mischievous sprite named Puck, who was known for his trickery but also his knowledge of hidden paths. "Puck," Lyra asked, "have you seen a dark sorcerer pass through here with a magical lantern?" Puck's eyes twinkled with mischief. "Ah, I did see such a figure," he replied. "But to find him, you must solve the riddle of the Twilight Bridge." The Twilight Bridge was a magical bridge that appeared only at dusk and vanished with the sunrise. To cross it, they had to solve a riddle spoken by the bridge itself. Puck revealed the riddle: "I am not alive, but I grow. I don't have lungs, but I need air. I don't have a mouth, but water kills me. What am I?" Lyra thought carefully and then exclaimed, "Fire." The Twilight Bridge shimmered and transformed into a solid path, allowing them to cross safely. On the other side of the bridge, they arrived at the Shadow Mountains, where Malgrim had hidden the Starlit Lantern in his dark fortress. The fortress was guarded by enchanted creatures and filled with traps designed to thwart any intruders. Lyra, Finn, and Willow used their wits and teamwork to navigate through the dangers. Finn's cleverness helped them disarm traps, while Willow's wisdom guided them through the labyrinthine corridors. Finally, they reached the chamber where the Starlit Lantern was kept. Malgrim, seated on his dark throne, was busy attempting to harness the lantern's power. When he saw the intruders, he roared in anger. "You dare to challenge me?" he bellowed. "The lantern's magic is mine to command." Lyra stood firm. "Malgrim, the lantern's power is not meant for darkness. It is a beacon of hope and dreams. Return it to its rightful place and end this madness." Malgrim sneered, but as Lyra spoke, something changed. The lantern, sensing the purity of Lyra's heart, began to glow brightly. The light filled the chamber, pushing back Malgrim's dark magic. The sorcerer, overwhelmed by the brilliance of the lantern, stumbled and fell, his dark spells unraveling. With a final burst of light, the Starlit Lantern was freed from Malgrim's grasp. Lyra gently took it and, with a wave of her hand, restored its magic. The lantern's light spread throughout the Kingdom of Dreams, reviving its vibrant landscapes and bringing joy back to its people. Malgrim, defeated and remorseful, fled into the shadows, never to be seen again. Queen Luna, grateful for Lyra's bravery, welcomed her and her friends back to the castle. The kingdom celebrated with a grand festival under the shimmering starlight, and Lyra was honored as a hero. The Starlit Lantern was returned to its place of honor, and Queen Luna entrusted it to Lyra, recognizing her as the new keeper of dreams. Lyra accepted the responsibility with humility and joy, knowing that the lantern's magic would always be a beacon of hope and wonder for the Kingdom of Dreams. And so, the Kingdom of Dreams thrived once more, a land where dreams and magic intertwined, all thanks to the courage of a young girl and her loyal friends. The end. Once upon a time, in the heart of a misty valley surrounded by towering mountains, there was a charming village named Willow's End. This village was known for its enchanting forest, where the trees were said to whisper secrets to those who listened closely. At the edge of the forest stood an ancient, gnarled oak tree known as the Whispering Tree. It was believed that the tree held a magical lantern that could grant a single wish to anyone with a pure heart. In Willow's End lived a kind-hearted young woman named Elowen. Elowen had a special gift: she could understand the whispers of the trees and the songs of the wind. She used her gift to help the villagers, healing their ailments and guiding them with her wisdom. However, despite her many acts of kindness, Elowen had a deep sorrow. Her beloved brother, Rowan, had disappeared years ago while exploring the forest. One evening, as the full moon cast its silver light over the valley, Elowen decided to seek out the magical lantern to make a wish to bring Rowan back home. With a heavy heart and a lantern of her own, she ventured into the forest, guided by the whispers of the trees and the light of the moon. As she walked deeper into the forest, the mist grew thicker and the trees seemed to close in around her. The forest was alive with the sound of rustling leaves and distant, haunting melodies. Elowen followed the gentle whispers of the trees, which seemed to guide her towards the heart of the forest. After hours of navigating through the dense woods, Elowen reached the Whispering Tree. Its enormous branches stretched towards the sky, and its leaves shimmered with a silvery glow. At the base of the tree was an ancient stone pedestal, upon which rested the Lantern of Whispers. The lantern was exquisite, crafted from delicate silver and adorned with intricate designs. Its light flickered softly, casting ethereal shadows on the ground. Eloan approached the lantern with reverence, her heart filled with hope and apprehension. Just as she was about to make her wish, a soft voice spoke from the shadows. "To grant a wish, one must prove their heart's true intention," said the voice. From the shadows emerged a small, ethereal creature, a forest sprite named Lysander. "I am the guardian of the lantern. To unlock its magic, you must pass 3 trials that test the purity of your heart." Eloan nodded, her determination unwavering. Lysander led her to the first trial, which was a tranquil glade illuminated by moonlight. In the center of the glade was a shimmering pool of water. "To pass this trial," Lysander explained, "you must show that you can find clarity and truth within yourself. Gaze into the pool and reflect on your deepest wish." Eloan peered into the pool and saw not only her reflection but also visions of her brother Rowan. She saw his joyful moments and the bond they shared. Her wish was not just for his return but for his happiness and safety. With a deep breath, she expressed her heartfelt desire to reunite with Rowan and to ensure his well-being. The pool's surface rippled, and Lysander nodded in approval. "You have shown clarity and sincerity. Now, for the second trial." The second trial led Eloan to a dense thicket, where the path was obscured by thick vines and tangled branches. "To pass this trial," Lysander said, "you must find your way through the thicket using only the light of the lantern and the guidance of your heart." Eloan carefully navigated through the thicket, her lantern illuminating the path. She listened to the whispers of the forest and followed the gentle breeze that seemed to guide her. Her heart remained focused on her wish, and she emerged from the thicket with a renewed sense of hope. Finally, Lysander led Eloan to a clearing where an ancient stone archway stood. "For the third and final trial," Lysander said, "you must face your deepest fear and demonstrate courage." Eloan approached the archway, and as she passed through, she was confronted by a vision of her greatest fear, losing Rowan forever. The vision was overwhelming. But Eloan took a deep breath and faced it with courage. She whispered words of love and reassurance, affirming her unyielding hope and determination to find Rowan. The vision faded, and Lysander appeared once more. "You have passed all 3 trials with a pure heart and unwavering courage. The Lantern of Whispers is now ready to grant your wish." Eloan took the lantern and gently whispered her wish, "I wish for my brother Rowan to return home safely and to be happy." The lantern's light grew bright and enveloped Eloan. The forest seemed to hum with magic, and she felt a warm, comforting presence. The next moment, Rowan appeared in the clearing, looking weary but safe. He had been lost in the forest, but now he was finally home. Eloan and Rowan embraced, tears of joy streaming down their faces. The Lantern of Whispers had fulfilled its promise. Lysander smiled and blessed them, and the magical lantern's light dimmed, having completed its task. Eloan and Rowan returned to Willow's End, where they were greeted with celebration and joy. The village rejoiced at Rowan's safe return, and Eloan's act of bravery and love became a cherished story in the village. The Lantern of Whispers remained in the Whispering Tree, a symbol of hope and the power of a pure heart. It continued to shine its gentle light, reminding everyone that even in the darkest times, love and courage could bring light and miracles. And so, Eloan, Rowan, and the village of Willow's End lived happily ever after, forever touched by the magic of the Lantern of Whispers and the unbreakable bond of family. Once upon a time, in a realm where the sea sparkled like sapphires and islands floated amidst the clouds, there was a kingdom known as the Lost Isles. This magical land was hidden from the ordinary world, with its floating islands connected by bridges of light. The people of the Lost Isles were known for their wisdom and their ability to navigate the skies and seas with the help of enchanted artifacts. The heart of the kingdom was a grand palace, where the kind and wise King Cedric ruled. His daughter, Princess Elara, was beloved by all for her adventurous spirit and her curiosity about the world beyond the kingdom. The kingdom's greatest treasure was an ancient compass, said to guide its bearer to the most wondrous and hidden places. The compass had been in the royal family for generations and was believed to hold the power to reveal secrets and lead to unimaginable treasures. One stormy night, a great calamity struck the Lost Isles. A dark and mysterious fog rolled in from the sea, obscuring the edges of light and causing the floating islands to drift apart. The enchanted compass, which had been keeping the islands in harmony, lost its power and fell into disrepair. The kingdom was thrown into disarray, and King Cedric was deeply concerned. In the midst of chaos, Princess Elara, determined to restore peace to her land, decided to embark on a quest to find out what had caused the fog and to restore the compass. With a brave heart and a loyal crew of skilled companions, including Sir Cedric, the king's courageous knight, and Mira, a clever young mage, she set out on a journey across the floating islands. Their first stop was the Whispering Forest, a mystical woodland where the trees were said to talk and share secrets. They hoped the forest's ancient spirits might hold clues about the source of the fog. As they ventured deeper into the forest, they met Elder Tree, a wise old tree who had seen many things in his time. Elder Tree, Elara began, we seek to understand the dark fog that has covered our kingdom. Can you help us find the cause? Elder Tree's leaves rustled thoughtfully. The fog is a result of an ancient spell cast long ago by the sorceress Morgana, he said. Morgana was once a guardian of balance, but she was consumed by her own power and turned to darkness. To break the spell, you must seek the heart of the Tempest, a powerful crystal hidden deep within the Storm Mountains. With this new knowledge, Elara, Sir Cedric, and Mira traveled to the Storm Mountains, which were known for their fierce winds and treacherous terrain. The mountains were often shrouded in storms, making them nearly impossible to navigate. As they climbed, they encountered fierce storms and icy winds. Mira used her magic to shield them from the worst of the elements, while Sir Cedric's bravery helped them push through the challenges. After many trials, they reached a hidden cavern at the mountain's peak. Inside, they found the heart of the Tempest, a radiant crystal pulsating with stormy energy. However, guarding the crystal was the sorceress Morgana, who had been corrupted by her own dark magic. She sought to keep the heart for herself, believing that it would make her unstoppable. You dare to take the heart of the Tempest? Morgana sneered. This power is mine to command. Elara stepped forward, her voice calm but firm. Morgana, the fog you created is hurting our kingdom and disrupting the balance of the world. We are here to restore harmony, not to take power for ourselves. Morgana was taken aback by Elara's words. Harmony, she echoed, her voice tinged with sadness. I once sought to protect the balance, but I lost my way. Seeing Morgana's turmoil, Elara offered her hand. Help us restore the compass and bring peace back to the Lost Isles. There is still a chance to make things right. Touched by Elara's compassion, Morgana hesitated, then agreed to help. With the heart of the Tempest in hand, they returned to the Lost Isles. Morgana used her magic to lift the fog and repair the enchanted compass. The compass, now glowing with renewed power, began to guide the floating islands back into their proper places. As the islands reunited and the bridges of light reappeared, the kingdom was filled with joy and relief. The enchanted compass was restored, and the balance of the Lost Isles was once again maintained. Morgana, having redeemed herself, decided to leave the kingdom and find a new purpose in protecting the natural world from afar. Princess Elara, Sir Cedric, and Mira were hailed as heroes, and the people of the Lost Isles celebrated their return with a grand feast. King Cedric, proud of his daughter's bravery and wisdom, bestowed upon her the title of Guardian of the Compass, a role that would ensure the kingdom's harmony for generations to come. The Lost Isles flourished with its bridges of light and floating islands, a beacon of balance and magic. And so, the tale of Princess Elara and the Enchanted Compass became a cherished legend, reminding all who heard it of the power of courage, compassion, and the importance of restoring harmony in the world. The end. Once upon a time, in a mystical land far beyond the realm of ordinary maps, there was a kingdom known as Everglow. This kingdom was famous for its beauty and serenity, with lush forests, sparkling rivers, and meadows that seemed to be eternally bathed in twilight. The heart of Everglow was a majestic tree called the Twilight Tree, whose branches glowed with a soft, ethereal light as day turned to night. The Twilight Tree was said to possess ancient magic, but its secrets remained hidden to all but the wisest of sages. In the village of Lumine, near the base of the Twilight Tree, lived a curious and kind-hearted girl named Lyra. Lyra had always been fascinated by the tree and its glowing branches. Her grandmother had told her tales of its magic and the promise it held, but the true secret of the Twilight Tree remained a mystery. One evening, as twilight began to envelop the land, Lyra noticed that the light from the Twilight Tree seemed dimmer than usual. Concerned, she decided to investigate. She gathered a small satchel of supplies, including her grandmother's old lantern and a map of the kingdom, and set off towards the Twilight Tree. As she approached, the sky darkened, and the soft glow of the tree grew fainter. The once vibrant colors of the tree's leaves were now muted. Lyra felt a pang of worry but pressed on. As she reached the base of the Twilight Tree, she saw a figure sitting in the shadows, an old man with a long, silver beard and a robe that sparkled like stardust. "Welcome, Lyra," the old man said with a voice as gentle as the night breeze. "I am Aemon, the guardian of the Twilight Tree. You have come at a time of great need." Lyra was startled but quickly composed herself. "What's happened to the Twilight Tree? Why is its light fading?" Aemon sighed. "The Twilight Tree's magic is linked to the balance of our world. Its light fades because the heart of the tree, an ancient crystal hidden deep within its roots, has been stolen. Without it, the tree's power is waning. And our kingdom is in danger." Lyra's heart sank. "How can we restore the crystal and save the tree?" "The crystal is hidden in the Caves of Echoes, a place shrouded in mystery and guarded by trials," Aemon explained. "To retrieve it, you must face 3 challenges that test your courage, wisdom, and heart. Only then can you return the crystal and restore the Twilight Tree's magic." Determined to save the kingdom, Lyra agreed to undertake the quest. Aemon handed her a shimmering compass that would guide her through the trials and advised her to trust her instincts. The first trial led Lyra to the edge of the Whispering Mist, a foggy expanse that seemed to shift and change. The compass directed her to a hidden path, but the mists whispered doubts and fears. Lyra focused on her inner strength and recalled her grandmother's teachings about bravery. By following her heart and trusting the compass, she navigated through the mist and reached the entrance to the Caves of Echoes. Inside the caves, the second trial awaited, a vast chasm with a bridge of shimmering light. The bridge was fragile and would only support those who could prove their wisdom. A voice echoed from the darkness, presenting Lyra with a riddle. "What can fill a room but takes up no space, and can be given away but never taken?" Lyra thought carefully and answered, "Light." The bridge solidified, allowing her to cross safely. At the end of the bridge, Lyra encountered the final trial, the guardian of the crystal, a majestic phoenix with fiery feathers. The phoenix challenged Lyra to demonstrate her heart's true intentions. Lyra spoke of her love for her village, her desire to restore the Twilight Tree's light, and her hope for a brighter future for all. Moved by Lyra's sincerity, the phoenix allowed her to retrieve the ancient crystal. Lyra carefully placed the crystal in a protective pouch and made her way back to the Twilight Tree. Upon returning, Aemon helped her place the crystal back into its rightful place within the tree's roots. The Twilight Tree began to glow with renewed brilliance, its light spreading across the kingdom. The fading colors were restored, and the kingdom of Everglow was once again bathed in its magical twilight. The villagers of Lumine celebrated Lyra's bravery and her role in saving their home. The Twilight Tree's light now shone brighter than ever, and the kingdom prospered under its gentle glow. Lyra returned to her home, knowing that she had fulfilled a great purpose. The Twilight Tree stood as a symbol of hope and balance, its magic forever intertwined with the courage and kindness of a young girl who dared to embark on a quest to save her world. And so, in the kingdom of Everglow, where the twilight was eternal and the magic of the Twilight Tree thrived, Lyra and her people lived happily ever after, guided by the enduring light of their beloved tree. Once upon a time, in a distant kingdom nestled between snow-capped mountains and shimmering lakes, there was a magical place known as the Crystal Garden. This garden was a realm of beauty and wonder, where every flower was a dazzling gem and the trees sparkled with 1,000 colors. The garden was said to be enchanted, protected by the whispering wind, a gentle spirit that carried messages and secrets through the air. In the nearby village of Willowbrook, there lived a young boy named Leo. Leo was known for his curiosity and kindness. His father, a humble gardener, taught him to love plants and nature. Despite their simple life, Leo often dreamt of visiting the Crystal Garden, believing that its magic could help his village thrive. One summer, a terrible drought struck Willowbrook, causing crops to wither and wells to dry up. The villagers grew worried as their supplies dwindled, and their hopes for a bountiful harvest faded. Leo, seeing the desperation in his people, decided that he must find the Crystal Garden and seek its magic to save his village. One evening, guided by the light of the stars and his own determination, Leo set off on his quest. He ventured through a dense forest known for its mystical creatures and ancient trees. As he walked, the trees seemed to whisper to him, guiding his path. He soon reached the edge of the forest and found himself standing before a vast, shimmering river. The river, known as the Mirror Stream, was renowned for its magical reflections. To cross, Leo had to face a challenge. The river's guardian, a majestic swan named Seraphina, awaited him. To pass, Seraphina said, "You must solve a riddle. Only then will the way be clear." Leo listened carefully as Seraphina asked, "I speak without a mouth and hear without ears. I have nobody, but I come alive with wind. What am I?" Leo thought for a moment and then answered, "An echo." Seraphina's eyes sparkled with approval. "You have answered correctly. The way across the Mirror Stream is now open." The river's waters parted, revealing stepping stones that led Leo safely to the other side. He continued his journey and soon arrived at the entrance of the Crystal Garden. The garden was as magnificent as he had imagined, with flowers that gleamed like jewels and trees that shimmered with every color of the rainbow. In the center of the garden stood a grand crystal fountain, its waters flowing like liquid light. Leo approached the fountain and was greeted by the whispering wind, who appeared as a soft, shimmering breeze. "Welcome, Leo," the whispering wind said. "I have been waiting for you. To seek the magic of the garden, you must complete 3 tasks that will test your heart and spirit." Leo, filled with determination, agreed to the tasks. The whispering wind guided him to the first challenge, the Garden of Echoes. Here, Leo had to plant a special seed and nurture it with his kindness. The seed, once planted, would respond to the love and care it received. Leo gently planted the seed and spoke words of encouragement and hope. Each day, he visited the seed, watering it and tending to it with love. Soon, the seed grew into a magnificent flower that glowed with a brilliant light, illuminating the entire garden. For the second task, Leo was led to the enchanted glade, where a magical creature known as the Lumina butterfly awaited him. The butterfly's wings sparkled like stardust, and it held a delicate key. To earn the key, the Lumina butterfly said, "You must show compassion. There are creatures in the garden who are in need of your help. Assist them, and the key will be yours." Leo spent the day helping the creatures of the garden, nursing injured birds, calming restless animals, and tending to wilting plants. His genuine care and selflessness earned him the key from the Lumina butterfly. The final task took Leo to the heart of the garden, where a grand crystal gate stood. To unlock the gate, he had to use the key and reveal his true intentions. The gate would only open for those who sought the garden's magic with a pure heart. Leo inserted the key into the lock and spoke from his heart. "I seek the garden's magic to help my village. My people are suffering from a drought, and I wish to bring them hope and renewal." The crystal gate slowly opened, revealing a hidden chamber filled with shimmering water and radiant crystals. In the center of the chamber was a large, glowing crystal that pulsed with life. "The heartstone of the garden," the whispering wind said. "This crystal holds the power to restore balance and bring prosperity. Take it to your village and let its magic flow." Leo carefully took the heartstone and made his way back to Willowbrook. As he approached the village, he saw the parched fields and weary faces of his fellow villagers. With the Heartstone in hand, he placed it in the center of the village and released its magic. A brilliant light emanated from the Heartstone, and the land began to transform. The fields became lush and green, the wells filled with clear, fresh water, and the village thrived once more. The villagers rejoiced, celebrating Leo's bravery and the return of their prosperity. The tale of Leo and the Crystal Garden became a beloved story in Willowbrook, a reminder of the power of kindness and the magic that lies in the heart of those who seek to make a difference. The Crystal Garden remained a place of wonder, its magic safeguarded by the whispering wind and the brave young boy who saved his village. Once upon a time, in a kingdom where the sun shone brighter than gold and the river sparkled like diamonds, there was a tiny village called Willowbrook. The village was named after a grand willow tree that stood at its heart. This tree was no ordinary tree, it was ancient, wise, and could whisper secrets to those who listened closely. In Willowbrook, there lived a young girl named Elara. Elara was known for her kindness, her curious nature, and most of all, her love for the willow tree. Every day after her chores, she would sit beneath the tree's sweeping branches, listening to its whispers. Though no one else seemed to hear the tree, Elara could understand its gentle murmurs as if it were speaking directly to her. One afternoon, as Elara sat beneath the tree's shade, the willow whispered something different. "Elara," it sighed, "a great danger is coming to the kingdom. A shadow will fall upon the land, and only you can prevent it." Elara's heart pounded with fear and excitement. "But I am just a girl," she whispered back, her voice trembling. "How can I stop a shadow?" The willow's leaves rustled softly. "You have a pure heart and a brave spirit. Seek the hidden key beneath my roots, and you will find your way." With determination in her heart, Elara dug beneath the tree's roots, her fingers searching through the cool earth. Soon, she found the small, golden key, its surface etched with intricate patterns. Holding the key tightly, Elara asked, "What does this key unlock?" "The door to the hidden realm," the willow replied. "Follow the river until it forks, and there you will find a secret path. The key will guide you." Elara knew there was no time to waste. She packed a small satchel with some bread, cheese, and a flask of water, then set off toward the river. As she walked, she could feel the key growing warmer in her hand, almost as if it were alive, urging her forward. After several hours, Elara reached the fork in the river. Just as the willow had said, a narrow, overgrown path led away from the water's edge. Hidden by the thick underbrush. She took a deep breath and stepped onto the path. The forest grew darker as she ventured deeper, the trees closing in around her. But Elara pressed on, her courage bolstered by the key's warmth. Finally, she reached a clearing where an ancient stone door stood, half buried in ivy and moss. Elara held up the key, and as she did, the door began to glow with a soft, golden light. The key fit perfectly into a small keyhole in the center of the door. As she turned it, the door creaked open, revealing a spiral staircase that led deep underground. With her heart in her throat, Elara descended the stairs. The air grew cooler, and the sound of her footsteps echoed off the stone walls. At the bottom of the stairs, she entered a vast chamber filled with strange, shimmering light. In the center of the chamber stood a tall, shadowy figure. Its form was indistinct, shifting like smoke, and its eyes glowed with an eerie red light. Elara knew at once that this was the shadow the willow had warned her about. "Who dares enter my domain?" the shadow hissed, its voice like the rustling of dead leaves. "I am Elara of Willowbrook," she said, her voice steady despite her fear. "I have come to stop you from spreading darkness across the kingdom." The shadow laughed, a sound that chilled Elara to the bone. "You are but a child. How do you intend to stop me?" Elara held up the golden key, and as she did, the chamber was filled with a brilliant light. The shadow recoiled, hissing in anger. "This key was given to me by the Whispering Willow," Elara said, her voice strong. "It holds the power of the ancient forest, and it will banish you from this land." With those words, the light from the key grew even brighter, filling the chamber with warmth and hope. The shadow shrieked in pain, its form twisting and shrinking until it was nothing more than a wisp of smoke. With a final, desperate cry, the shadow was sucked into the key, and the chamber fell silent. Elara stood alone in the chamber, her heart pounding with relief. The key, now cool in her hand, had returned to its normal state. She knew the danger had passed, and the kingdom was safe once more. When Elara returned to Willowbrook, the villagers were amazed by her bravery. The Whispering Willow greeted her with a gentle rustle of its leaves, its whispers full of pride and gratitude. From that day on, Elara was known as the Guardian of the Willow, the girl who had saved the kingdom from darkness. She continued to visit the willow every day, listening to its wise whispers and ensuring that the peace she had fought for would last. And so, the kingdom of Willowbrook flourished, bathed in the golden light of the sun, free from the shadow that had once threatened its beauty. And Elara, the brave and kind-hearted girl, lived happily ever after. Once upon a time, in a land where the trees whispered secrets and the rivers danced with moonlight, there was a small village named Eldergrove. This village was known for its lush forests, where every tree had a story and every creature had a psalm. But most enchanting of all was the Whispering Forest, a magical woodland that no one had dared to enter for centuries. The Whispering Forest was said to be home to ancient magic and guarded by a wise and mysterious guardian named Eldin. Eldin was a gentle spirit who only revealed himself to those with pure hearts and brave spirits. The villagers had always lived in harmony with the forest, but they had never ventured into its depths, respecting the old tales that spoke of its magic and mystery. In the village of Eldergrove lived a curious and kind-hearted girl named Lyra. Lyra was known for her love of nature and her desire to help others. She had heard countless stories about the Whispering Forest and had always dreamed of exploring it. The forest had always fascinated her, especially because her grandmother had once told her about a hidden treasure within it that could heal any illness. One day, Lyra's grandmother fell ill with a mysterious ailment that no doctor could cure. Desperate to help her, Lyra remembered the old stories and decided that she must find the hidden treasure in the Whispering Forest to save her grandmother. With a heart full of hope and determination, Lyra prepared for her journey. She packed a small bag with essentials, a map, some food, and a special locket her grandmother had given her. The locket was said to hold the power of protection and was enchanted with a touch of the forest's magic. As the sun set and the moon rose high, casting a silvery glow over the land, Lyra ventured towards the edge of the Whispering Forest. The trees seemed to hum softly as she approached, their leaves rustling in a gentle breeze. She took a deep breath and stepped into the forest, guided by the soft, ethereal light. The forest was unlike anything Lyra had ever seen. The trees were tall and ancient, their branches stretching out like welcoming arms. The ground was carpeted with moss that glowed faintly, and the air was filled with the sweet fragrance of wildflowers. Every now and then, Lyra would hear a soft whisper or a faint melody, as if the forest itself was speaking to her. As Lyra walked deeper into the forest, she came across a clearing with a crystal-clear pond at its center. The pond sparkled with a magical light, and a delicate bridge made of vines and flowers arched over it. Standing at the edge of the pond was Eldin, the guardian of the forest. He was a tall figure with a flowing robe of leaves and a crown of blossoms, his eyes shining with wisdom and kindness. Eldin smiled warmly at Lyra. "Welcome, brave traveler. I have been waiting for you. The forest has sensed your pure heart and your noble quest." Lyra was both amazed and nervous. "I seek the hidden treasure of the Whispering Forest. My grandmother is ill, and I believe that this treasure can heal her." Eldin nodded solemnly. "The treasure you seek is indeed powerful, but it is not easily found. The forest will only reveal it to those who prove themselves worthy through acts of kindness and bravery." Lyra listened intently as Eldin continued, "You must complete 3 tasks. Each task will test your heart and your spirit. Only then will the forest guide you to the treasure." With determination in her eyes, Lyra agreed to the tasks. Eldin led her to the first challenge, a grove where magical creatures were trapped in enchanted vines. They had been imprisoned by a dark spell that had spread through the forest. Lyra saw that the vines were thick and tangled, but she did not hesitate. She worked tirelessly, carefully unraveling the vines and freeing the creatures. The animals, including fairies and small woodland creatures, chirped and fluttered with joy as they were set free. Lyra felt a deep sense of satisfaction knowing she had helped them. For the second task, Eldon took Lyra to a hill where a giant tree had fallen, blocking the path for many travelers. The tree was enormous, and Lyra knew it would be a great challenge to move it. With Eldon's guidance, she used all her strength and creativity, using ropes and branches to slowly and carefully clear the path. As Lyra worked, she felt the support of the forest. The animals and fairies she had helped earlier came to lend a hand, and together they managed to move the tree. The path was cleared, and travelers would once again be able to pass through. The final task was the most challenging. Eldon led Lyra to a dark part of the forest where the magic had begun to fade. The plants were wilting, and the air was heavy with sadness. Lyra needed to restore the magic by planting enchanted seeds that would bring the forest back to life. Lyra worked with dedication, planting the seeds and watering them with the enchanted water from the pond. As she did so, she sang a soothing song that she remembered from her grandmother's tales. The magic began to return, and the forest started to bloom with vibrant colors once again. Having completed the 3 tasks, Lyra returned to Eldon. The guardian was pleased and led her to a hidden glade where a beautiful chest lay covered in vines. Eldon gently opened the chest, revealing a glowing crystal vial filled with a shimmering liquid. "This is the treasure you seek," Eldon said. "It has the power to heal and restore. Use it with love and it will bring healing to your grandmother." Lyra thanked Eldon and the forest with all her heart. She took the vial and made her way back to Eldergrove. With the vial in hand, she hurried home and administered the healing liquid to her grandmother. As the liquid touched her lips, her grandmother's color returned, and she awoke with a smile. The village celebrated Lyra's bravery and kindness, and the Whispering Forest continued to thrive, its magic renewed by the love and courage of a young girl. The forest remained a place of wonder and enchantment, a testament to the power of pure hearts and selfless deeds. From then on, the villagers spoke of Lyra's adventure as a cherished tale, reminding everyone that the greatest magic of all is found in the strength of kindness and the power of the heart. The end. Once upon a time, in a small village nestled between towering mountains, there was a young girl named Mira. Mira was known for her adventurous spirit and her fascination with the mysteries of nature. The villagers often spoke of an ancient tale about a hidden crystal cavern deep within the mountains, said to be filled with magical crystals that granted extraordinary powers. Mira's curiosity about the cavern was unquenchable. She dreamed of discovering its secrets and perhaps finding a way to help her village, which had been struggling with a long-lasting drought. Despite the villagers' warnings about the dangers of venturing into the mountains, Mira felt a deep sense of determination. One crisp morning, as the first light of dawn broke over the mountains, Mira set out on her journey. She carried a small satchel with essential supplies, a map she had drawn from old tales, some food, and a sturdy walking stick. The journey to the cavern was said to be treacherous, filled with natural obstacles and magical creatures. As Mira ascended the rugged mountain paths, she encountered her first challenge, a deep, narrow gorge with a swirling river below. The only way across was a rickety bridge made of vines and wooden planks. Mira's heart raced as she stepped onto the bridge, which swayed dangerously with each step. She took a deep breath, focused on her goal, and carefully made her way across, her courage guiding her safely to the other side. Further along the path, Mira came upon a dense forest with trees that seemed to whisper secrets. The forest was known to be enchanted, and Mira had to solve a riddle to find the correct path. The trees murmured, "To find the way, listen well, the path you seek is where the shadows dwell." Mira noticed the shadows of the trees forming a distinct pattern on the ground. She followed the pattern, which led her to a hidden pathway illuminated by soft, glowing mushrooms. After several days of travel, Mira arrived at the entrance to the crystal cavern. The cavern was hidden behind a curtain of cascading water that sparkled like diamonds in the sunlight. With a mix of excitement and trepidation, Mira stepped through the waterfall and entered the cavern. Inside, the cavern was a breathtaking sight. Crystals of every color imaginable adorned the walls, emitting a soft, mesmerizing glow. The air was filled with a sweet, melodious hum, as if the crystals themselves were singing. Mira marveled at the beauty and stepped cautiously further into the cavern. At the heart of the cavern stood a large, glowing crystal known as the Heart of the Mountain. According to the legends, this crystal held the power to end the drought that plagued the village. However, the Heart of the Mountain was guarded by a wise and ancient dragon named Orion. The dragon's scales shone like the crystals, and his eyes glinted with both wisdom and a hint of sadness. Orion greeted Mira with a deep, rumbling voice. "Welcome, brave traveler. You have come seeking the Heart of the Mountain. To earn its power, you must prove your worth." Mira nodded, determined to fulfill her quest. "What must I do?" Orion explained that Mira needed to complete 3 tasks to show her true intentions and purity of heart. Task 1, the Trial of Purity. The first task was to retrieve a crystal from a submerged pool within the cavern, where the waters were enchanted to test the purity of her heart. Mira swam to the depths of the pool, feeling the cool, magical water around her. She found the crystal nestled among the rocks, glowing with a soft, warm light. Her intent was pure, and she returned to Orion with the crystal, passing the trial. Task 2, the Trial of Wisdom. The second task required Mira to solve a complex puzzle formed by shifting crystal patterns on the cavern floor. The puzzle solution revealed a hidden passage. Mira studied the patterns and, using her knowledge of the legends and her intuition, solved the puzzle, revealing the way to the next chamber. Task 3, the Trial of Compassion. For the final task, Orion asked Mira to use the Heart of the Mountain's power to heal a wounded magical creature in the cavern, a young phoenix whose fiery feathers were dimmed by a dark spell. Mira approached the phoenix with empathy and care, using her hands to channel the energy of the Heart of the Mountain. The phoenix's feathers brightened, and it regained its strength and vitality. Having completed all 3 tasks, Mira had demonstrated her courage, wisdom, and compassion. Orion, moved by her sincerity and selflessness, allowed her to take a shard of the Heart of the Mountain. With the shard in hand, Mira journeyed back to her village. As she approached, the once dry land began to change. The shard's magic worked wonders, bringing life-giving water to the parched earth. The rivers and streams flowed again, and the fields bloomed with vibrant crops. The villagers rejoiced, celebrating Mira's bravery and the return of prosperity. Mira's adventure became a cherished tale in the village, a story of courage, wisdom, and compassion that inspired future generations. As for Mira, she often returned to the mountains, not only to visit Orion but also to share the magic of the Crystal Cavern with those in need. The Heart of the Mountain's power lived on, reminding everyone of the magic that resides within acts of kindness and the strength of a pure heart. And so, under the nurturing rain and the blossoming fields, the village thrived, and Mira's legacy of bravery and wisdom continued to shine brightly. The end. Once upon a time, in a realm where the mountains kissed the sky and rivers flowed with silver, there was a hidden kingdom known as Lamaria. This kingdom was bathed in perpetual twilight, thanks to a magical lantern that hung from the highest tower of the royal castle. The lantern's light was warm and golden, casting a gentle glow that kept the kingdom in a state of perpetual dusk, neither night nor day. The people of Lamaria lived in harmony and joy, their days filled with laughter and their nights with peaceful dreams. However, one fateful evening, the lantern's light began to dim, and the once vibrant kingdom started to fade into shadow. The fields lost their color, the river's silver shimmer turned dull, and the once bright streets were cloaked in gloom. The kingdom's wise queen, Queen Seraphina, was deeply troubled. She knew that the lantern's light was the source of Lamaria's magic and prosperity. Without it, the kingdom would be lost to darkness. She called upon her trusted advisor, Sir Cedric, and shared her fears. "We must find out why the lantern is losing its light," Queen Seraphina said. "The lantern has been the heart of our kingdom for centuries. If we don't restore its glow, Lamaria will be lost forever." Sir Cedric bowed. "Your Majesty, I will find the source of this darkness and restore the lantern's light. I shall embark on a quest to save Lamaria." As Sir Cedric prepared for his journey, a young girl named Elara, who lived in a small village on the edge of the kingdom, stepped forward. Elara was known for her kind heart and adventurous spirit. "Please, let me join you," she said. "I have a feeling that I can help in this quest." Queen Seraphina looked at Elara thoughtfully. "Very well, Elara. You may join Sir Cedric. Your courage and intuition may be what we need to succeed." With a satchel of supplies and a map from the Queen, Sir Cedric and Elara set off on their quest. Their first challenge came as they reached the edge of the kingdom, where a dense and foreboding forest known as the Shadow Wood lay before them. The trees were twisted, and a thick fog shrouded the path. As they ventured into the forest, they encountered their first obstacle, a rickety bridge suspended over a deep ravine. The bridge swayed dangerously, and the fog made it difficult to see. Sir Cedric, though brave, hesitated. Elara, however, spotted a series of stones along the edge of the ravine and suggested they use them to cross. With Elara's guidance, they carefully made their way across the stones and reached the other side. As they continued through the forest, they came upon a clearing where a magical creature, a wise old unicorn named Astra, stood waiting. Astra spoke in a soft, melodious voice. "To find the source of the darkness, you must seek the Cave of Echoes. There, you will find the Heartstone, a powerful gem that holds the key to restoring the lantern's light. But be wary, for the cave is guarded by a fearsome dragon." Thanking Astra for her guidance, Sir Cedric and Elara pressed on. They followed the map until they reached the entrance of the Cave of Echoes. The cave's entrance was guarded by a massive dragon with scales as dark as night. The dragon's eyes glowed like fiery embers. Elara, though nervous, approached the dragon with a calm demeanor. "We seek the Heartstone to restore the lantern's light and save our kingdom. Please, let us pass." The dragon growled but was intrigued by Elara's bravery. "To enter, you must solve my riddle," the dragon said. "If you answer correctly, I shall allow you to pass." The dragon's riddle was complex, but with Sir Cedric's wisdom and Elara's quick thinking, they solved it. The dragon, impressed, allowed them to enter the cave. Inside, the cave was filled with glittering crystals and echoing sounds. At the heart of the cave, they found the Heartstone, a brilliant gem that pulsed with a soft, golden light. But as they approached, a dark shadow emerged, a wicked sorcerer who had been hiding in the cave, seeking to use the Heartstone's power for his own evil purposes. The sorcerer cackled as he saw Sir Cedric and Elara. "You think you can take the Heartstone from me? The darkness will consume your kingdom." Elara, though frightened, stepped forward and spoke with determination. "We won't let you use the Heartstone for evil. We are here to save our kingdom and restore the light." The sorcerer attacked with dark magic, but Sir Cedric and Elara fought back bravely. Sir Cedric used his sword to deflect the sorcerer's spells, while Elara used her quick reflexes and clever strategies to outmaneuver him. In the heat of the battle, Elara noticed a faint glow coming from the Heartstone. She realized that the Heartstone's light was linked to the lantern in their kingdom. With a final burst of courage, she managed to grab the Heartstone and hold it up high. The Heartstone's light grew brighter, and its glow banished the sorcerer's darkness. The sorcerer, defeated, fled into the shadows, and the Heartstone's light filled the cave with a warm, golden glow. Sir Cedric and Elara carefully made their way back to Lumaria, carrying the Heartstone with them. As they arrived at the royal castle, the lantern's dim light began to flicker with renewed brightness. Elara placed the Heartstone in the lantern, and a brilliant light erupted, bathing the kingdom in its warm, golden glow. The fields regained their color, the river sparkled once more, and the streets were filled with joy. Queen Seraphina, Sir Cedric, and the people of Lumaria celebrated their heroes. Elara's bravery and quick thinking had saved the kingdom, and Sir Cedric's strength and wisdom had ensured their success. The kingdom was restored to its former glory, and the lantern's light once again bathed Lumaria in a gentle, eternal twilight. Elara returned to her village, where she was celebrated as a hero. Sir Cedric continued to serve the kingdom with honor, and the Whispering Willow stood tall and proud, its magic stronger than ever. And so, the tale of Elara and Sir Cedric became a cherished legend in Lumaria, a story of bravery, teamwork, and the light that shines within every heart. And thus, the story of the Enchanted Lantern and the Lost Kingdom became a beloved tale, a reminder that even in the darkest times, courage and kindness can bring back the light.